So here we go, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Meet the Oppo series, where I get the lowdown on Town's next opponent, which, of course, is Championship side Rotherham in the third round of the FA Cup. We're finally in this round, and we get Rotherham at home. No offence, Matt. Thanks for joining me. We've got Matt here from the host of New York Tour podcast, of course, covering all things Rotherham. Welcome back, Matt, to the show.
Yeah, nice to speak to you. It's nice to speak to you. I wasn't expecting to speak to you this season, but it is nice to speak to you anyway.
Yeah. Definitely, mate. Yeah, I think when you guys got promoted, we're like, maybe speak to you again, hopefully in the Championship, but you're still in the Championship. We're in League One. It's FA Cup time. Yeah, let's talk about Rotherham's season so far. 21st in the Championship. You were doing pretty well at the start of the season, and then Paul Ward buggered off, went to Derby in League One. How would you sum up the season so far?
It was brilliant until Paul Ward left. I think we were 8th when he left. We'd had a fairly kind starting fixtures, maybe. But we still took some points off some decent teams in this division. We were playing in the same sort of way we were playing last season. You will have seen that sort of high press, really aggressive style. Teams in the Championship of it didn't like it, and it were working. At that point, we were sort of saying, right, this is the season. Paul Warne's nailed it. He's worked out the system. He's worked out the players he needs. We're going to be safe. We could all see a 14th place finish, and it was going to be lovely. And then he left. Completely out of the blue. Well, to the fans, it was out of the blue. There was rumours that it was rumbling on since the summer. But for the fans, it was completely out of the blue. For the players, as from what I understand, for the players, it was completely out of the blue as well. And it was just a complete kick in the gut from a fan point of view. We felt like we were there. And then it felt like we were abandoned. I feel like harsh because what he's done for the club. But he essentially took all his staff with him. There were no staff left at the club from the coaching point of view. And we had to start again. Richard Wood was captain. He took a game as caretaker boss, which was a disaster. We picked up some good results. We've changed the manager to Matt Taylor coming. We picked up some good results. But it's trying to change everything all at once. And it's now turning into a proper battle, which I suppose we may have expected in the first place. But it's turning hard at the minute.
Yeah, I can imagine because New Year's Day, 3-0 defeat at Millwall, so not a great start to 2023. How would you sum up the current mood with the fans and Matt Taylor coming in? Of course, did a fantastic job at Exeter. They're doing still pretty well in League One, even despite him leaving there. But what is the current mood, everybody?
As possibly as low as it's been in a long time, which is strange. Bearing in mind we're in the Championship. The post-World Cup, pre-World Cup, Matt Taylor, the style sort of worked. He's trying to move into, I think, a more possession-based style of football. The problem is we haven't got the players to do it at the minute. So we are in a transition period. I think everybody sort of accepts that. But we were good defensively, as we have been in League One. And even the Championship 2 years ago, we were very good defensively. We're just so wide open. I think it's 12 goals in 4 games or 4 or 5 games since the World Cup that we're conceding. We conceded 3 goals 3 times or something like that. And Matt Taylor, in the most recent post-match press conference, dug out his players and said they were trying hard, but the players aren't good enough for this level. I'm like, well, that's not how I would go about it, but I'm obviously not a football manager. The fans have started turning a little bit on the chairman. There's been a lack of investment. I think we spent £200,000 in the summer or something like that, when apparently promotion's worth 6 or 7 million quid. There's lots of questions now on how the club's been run, which I suppose is a good thing. It's good that we are asking the questions. I mean, I don't think we'll get the answers, but that's another story, I suppose. We're desperate for January. January's here. We need signings on the 1st of January, and we haven't made any yet as it stands. So it's as low as I can remember in 10 years, probably. And that it is strange, but that's how low. If you go on the RUFC hashtag on Twitter, it's toxic at times. It's really bad. But I don't even think a win against you guys would help that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, the stat is not great for you guys in terms of the FA Cup. We thought the FA Cup run, for Town is dreadful, but for Rotherham, the 2001-02 season, last time you reached the 4th round, so that's not good at all. Let's talk, Matt, about the players who are not good enough for the Championship in the eyes of Matt Taylor. There's a few players I sort of look at and go straight away, like, he's a decent player for that level. I'm bringing it up now. Last 11 against Rotherham. Last Rotherham 11 against Millwall, of course, in that 3-0 defeat on New Year's Day. A few of those players did play against Town last year, but there's a few new signings there. Richard Wood's still there, your captain. Give us a little insight on the players there. And will most of that team possibly play against us, do you reckon?
Yeah, basically the same team. I would have thought Shane Ferguson will probably come out for Cohen Bramall, who is one of the new signings, who is rapid. He was at Lincoln last season, and he is rapid. And that's just about all he's got to his game, unfortunately. But Paul Warne tried to build a team of pace, and that's some of what he's got. You will probably see Chio Ogbene come back in. I think he should be match fit, so we'll probably partner Connor Washington up top. Which is great. They're both quick and they're both fairly hardworking, but there's absolutely zero physicality up top. It's a good team. I think it's good enough for the challenge. This is why there's been a bit of Matt Taylor's comments. Dan Barlaser in central midfield, assuming he stays with us for the Saturday, which I think he will. He'll probably go in this window, but he'll be there Saturday. He's one of the best midfielders in the Championship. He could go into nearly any team in the Championship. There's questions about the defence. Richard Wood's 37, but he's not been played particularly well. I don't know how we're going to play, and that's a really strange thing to say. Matt Taylor started when he came in. It started with a bit of a hybrid of really hard-working, a bit of a Paul Warne style with a bit more free-flowing football. We're now just trying to play free-flowing football without pressing on, without being aggressive. When we've been to you guys in the last couple of years at Portman Road, it's just made it difficult for you guys, and that's what's worked against the bigger teams. And then in the last month, it's just been rolling out the red carpet almost. So that would be just about the team. I would have thought maybe a tweak here and there. We've had quite a few bad injuries, but that'll be there or thereabouts. 2 changes, maybe 3 at the most.
Okay, we shall wait and see. And little fun fact going into this game, both teams have got a player called Cameron Humphreys. You've got a Cameron Humphreys, a former Man City man, and of course we've got Cameron Humphreys at Town, who's one of our own, come through our youth system, a midfielder. What's Cameron Humphreys for you guys like?
He was at the start of the season. He was brilliant. We signed him as to try and. I think Paul was trying to progress a little bit by bringing a ball playing centre half. And the start of the season, we really thought we were onto a player. He's quick, he's clever, he's brilliant on the ball. But much like everybody else in the team, he looks like he's had the confidence sucked out of him. There's going to be a player that, from what we've seen, I think he's got the potential to be a Premier League player. But at the minute, he needs to learn. He needs to learn quickly. I'm not sure that's coming. His drop off from the start of the season has been horrendous. But if he turns up, he'll be best defender on pitch. That's a big if, unfortunately, in the minute.
Yeah. It'd be good to find out that stat about how many players who've had the same name playing in the same game. That'd be interesting to know. But yeah, it'll be. I'm sure the commentator's going to have a bit of a mare, like Cameron Humphreys on the ball. Oh no, that's the Rotherham Cameron Humphreys, not the issue Cameron Humphreys. But yeah, that's a nice little fact going into the game, which is good. Well, Matt, taking on Ipswich and Portman Road, you've got a good record against us in league fixtures, but this is the first ever cup fixture between the two sides. How are you feeling going into the game?
I can't see us winning for not only because we're poor at the minute. Our FA Cup record is obviously horrendous. 21 years now since our last third round victory. And before we start recording, I'd love to tell you we lost to Man U and City and Liverpool every single year. No, we lost to Oxford, Aldershot. It's just been terrible in third round, so I can't see us winning. I'm praying for not a replay. I think we're all praying it doesn't go to a replay. That'd be worst case.
That'd be dreadful. That'd be horrible. Yeah. No offense to Rotherham, but none of us want that. None of us want that. You know, even if you've never been to Rotherham before, you're like, no, don't fancy that. Once again, both trying to, definitely not on a Tuesday night, and both trying to, you guys trying to stay in the Championship and us trying to get out of League One. But yeah, hopefully not. Well, Matt, it's been a pleasure. Any other business, any other notes? As you said, Matt Taylor, you still don't really know what sort of football he's going to play. I'm sure he wants to change a lot, but you can't change too much when he's only had a few months in the job.
That's it. I can see what he's trying to do, and I think he's got the right idea. I just sort of think he's going about it in the wrong way, and that's all right, me saying that as a completely unqualified football fan. But it feels like he's just throwing everything out of the window. Everything's gone. And we've got no identity. Actually, if the same team turns up against Millwall, you won't recognise us from the last couple of seasons. It's not, in a strange way, it's not Rotherham United. And that's a strange thing to say, really, but that's a depressing state we're in, unfortunately.
Yes, mate. Well, thanks so much for joining me. Any other business, any other notes you want to mention?
I don't think so, no. It's been... hopefully this is the last time I have to speak to you this season. I don't want to have to speak to you again in 10 days' time.
No. Yeah, hopefully if we do speak next, hopefully we're both in the Championship and we're both not in League One talking about League One football once again, because I think that was that's always the worry back of my mind. It's like, oh, hopefully we don't have to play each other. I'd rather play you in the championship, but we shall wait and see. Well, Matt, thanks for joining me. Thanks everyone for watching. Bring it on. Please don't get a replay. Please don't. Bye-bye for now.